sit as close as you feel comfortable. I know you just got seated. I'm also going to invite you. This is a lot of requests that I'm making right in a row, but I'm going to invite you to sort of bring the chairs closer, so I don't feel quite so very far away from everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Which is not to say like we have to bring this part closer, but like round the rows. I should have been clear, huh? Great, thank you. Yeah, and if you want to sit on the floor, you're welcome to sit on the floor. But I'm going to invite you to come closer, but really, the way we play here is that, the way we play is that come sit close. Like if you see chairs in front of you that are empty, come sit closer, because it really impacts how we pray. You are so close. I'm very grateful. Oh, I mean, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ah 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 la la. We're going to begin in our handout, the handout that's on a white piece of paper. This is a piyut by Rabbi Yisrael Najara, and it's a melody from Afghanistan. Yonati zivifatech damalich silvechimot. I should say before I start, it's call and response. Doesn't that make it easier? So I'll sing, you'll repeat. Is that nice? Okay, great. Yonati zivifatech damalich silvechimot. Yonati zivifatech damalich silvechimot. Va'ani le'avatech ashir shir al alamot. Va'ani le'avatech ashir shir al alamot. Nava mikol alamot. Nava mikol alamot. Nava mikol alamot. Nava mikol alamot. Nadedu litshukatech me'afar paitenumot. Nadedu litshukatech me'afar paitenumot. Nava mikol alamot. Nava mikol alamot. I'm about to ask you to sing some wild melodies. Are you ready? Nava mikol alamot, nava mikol alamot. Alamot, nava mikol alamot. Nava mikol 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 alamot, nava mikol alamot. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So wonderful to be together. Welcome to our friends who are joining us from all over the country on Zoom. I see you, Pittsburgh. I see you, Oregon. I see you, all those places in between. And welcome to all of you who are here on 50th Street on Dakota land here in Minneapolis. Welcome to Shir Tikva. Welcome to Shabbat. Welcome especially to our sixth graders and to their families. Hi, sixth graders. If you're in sixth grade, will you raise your hand for a second? Hey, mighty ones. Yes, scattered all about. Thank you so much for being here. And in case you were wondering what those tables were doing out in the Oneg Hall after Shabbat tonight, we will have a chance to go and learn about our prophets through the wildly creative perspective of our sixth graders. So please stick around and come learn with our people. It's going to be sixth graders on a scale of 1 to 10. How excited should we be? 10 being extremely excited. I see 11. We should be 11 amount excited. And friends on Zoom, I will take you around with my laptop. So you will have a chance to, if you feel like sticking around and learning about the prophets, we can do this on Zoom together. So here we go. Just to say, this is my first service in a really long time leading by myself, which again, in a very Tetzaveh sort of way, in our parsha, which is the only parsha in the book of Exodus where Moshe's name is not spoken a single time. His name is absent, although his action is present. I feel like it's actually very appropriate to say, while on paper I'm leading by myself, actually we're all leading together. So thank you, community, for leading through together. I'm going to invite our sixth graders to come up and join me here on the bima to light candles as we welcome Shabbat in. So I know you just got seated, but why don't you come on up and we'll light candles together. And our candle lighting is found on page 2. Come on up with me. Is it okay if Lily comes up too? Oh, sixth graders? Come on, Love. Let's go. All right, so here's the wand. Whoa. Who would like to be the actual lighter? All right, Charlie, let's go. So you're going to light with the wick, these two, and then you'll just use this to turn it off, okay?
So do I push it down?
Yeah, so it's, you'll push it down. It's time to extinguish. Here, come on over this way. You can see right here. So we'll bring the light to our eyes. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Great job. All right, you can go back to your seats. Thanks so much. So we'll begin together in song on page 12 as we make our way slowly off the bima. Lechu neranena Ladonai Nariah Letzuyishenu Nekadem afanav Betodah Bizmirot Nariah lo ayalai yalalai ayo alalai ayalai yalalai 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 continue on the next psalm. Shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz, shiru l'Adonai, barechu shemo, baseru miyom liyom, Yeshuato, sapru vagoyim, kevodo, bechol amim, nifleotav, ki gadol Adonai, umulal meod, norahu, al kol Elohim, ki kol Elohei, hamim elilim, v'Adonai, shamayim asa, hod v'hadai, lefanav, oz v'tiferet, במקדשו ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ ירם הים ומלואו יעלו שדי וכל אשר בו אז ירננו כל הצעה לפני אדוני, כי בא לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט הבל בצדק ועמים באמונתו, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, איי יא לה לה, איי יא לה איי איי יא לה לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, איי יא לה איי יא לה ay, la, la, la. We'll turn to page 17, the last paragraph on the page. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להקודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להקודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להקודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להקודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. We'll rise on page 18 as we sing Psalm 29, this psalm of majesty, the psalm that connects us with the whole world, with all of creation. מזמור לדוד, הבו לאדוני בנעלים, הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז, הבו לאדוני כבוד שכבו לאדוני בהדרת קודש. כל אדוני על המים אל הכבוד הרים. אדוני על מים רבים, על מים רבים. כל אדוני בכוח, כל אדוני בהדר. כל אדוני שובר ארזים, וישבר אדוני את ארזי הלבנון. וירקידם כמו עגל לבנון וסריון, כמו בן רמים. כל אדוני חוצב להבות אש. כל אדוני יכיל מדבר, יכיל אדוני מדבר קדש. כל אדוני יכול לעלות, ויחשוף יערות, ובהיכלו כולו מכבוד. אדוני למבול ישב, וישב אדוני מלך לעולם. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. We'll be seated, and I'm bringing us, if you turn back to our white pieces of paper, I'm bringing us a different verse of Ana Bechoach than we usually sing. And you'll see arrayed at the bottom of our page is a whole alphabet. That's the whole Hebrew alphabet mixed up together. And the story of Ana Bechoach is it's the first letter of every word of the whole paragraph of Ana Bechoach contains within it like God's longest name, which is the whole Hebrew alphabet. And so I just wanted to bring us a different line from Ana Bechoach so we can keep experiencing different facets of this incantation. So this is, I don't know if you know it, I'm so excited, but I'm imagining no one knows it, in which case please everyone sing along. Yachid Pene Zochre Kedushatecha. That's the whole thing. Yachid Ge Le'amecha Pene Zochre Zochre Kedushatecha. Yachid Ge Le'amecha Pene Zochre Kedushatecha. Yachid Ge Le'amecha Pene Zochrei, 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 Kedushatecha, Yalalai, Yalai, Yalai, We'll turn together to page 20. We'll sing L'Charodi. And as we come to the 9th verse, I'm going to invite as many of us as want to go out through the 50th Street doors and welcome Shabbat, running towards Shabbat, welcoming her in. And I just want to draw our attention to the 3rd verse of L'Charodi. The words we say, Rav lach shevet be'emek habacha, ve'hu yachamol alayich chemla. You have dwelt so long in the valley of weeping. You have dwelt so long in the valley of weeping. So let's shower you with mercy. Let's shower you with love. And I think we've spent months now in the valley of weeping. And we'll come to another verse that says, get up and go. We can't stay here, right? So I think our tradition, this is, people ask a lot of time, like, why do we sing all 9 verses? Beyond the fact that I just love singing with you so much. And part of the reason is that L'Charodi tells us a story about how we move from a place of isolation and woe, anguish, to a place of, and shutdown, to a place of awareness and welcome, of embrace. And I feel like in this moment, my God, we need to tell ourselves and remind ourselves again and again, yes, we are in the valley of weeping. Yes, we're there. What does it look like for us to shower each other with care and to help each other move? Keep moving. Yeah? So let's sing. Maybe I'll decide what melodies we're going to sing. That would help us. And then when it's time, when the 9th verse, we'll move out into the outside. Come here, Rafi. Lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela penei Shabbat nekabela shamo v'zachor b'dibur echad hishmiyanu el hameyuchad Adonai echad hu shemo echad leshem ultiferet velitila lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela penei Shabbat nekabela likrat Shabbat lechu benecha ki mekor haberacha merosh mikedem nesucha sof maaseh b'machshava tchila lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לא תבושי ולא תקלמי מה תשתוכחי ומה תמי פח יחסו אני עמי ונמנתה עיר אל תילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה והיו למשיסה שוסייך ברחקו כל נבלייך יסיס עלייך אלוהיך כמסוס חתן על חתן לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי על יד איש בפצי ונשמחה ונגילה go outside לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. Let's rise and root and open our windows and our doors and our hearts and we face the open doors. We welcome Shabbat. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה יאללה 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 We'll take the next 3 minutes to greet each other. We'll go out in breakout rooms, very brief breakout rooms to say Shabbat Shalom. And if we're in the space together, it's a chance to say hi to each other, welcome each other into space. Good Shabbos. And I'll call us back together in song. Shir, Shir Leyom HaShabbat, Shir Leyom HaShabbat, Shir Leyom HaShabbat, Shir Leyom HaShabbat. Who in the room met someone new during your greeting each other time? Good job. Well, in the Prophet Fair, I hope you meet someone new. I think there are lots of people here that'll be wonderful for you to get to know. So I'm going to invite us, please. We'll turn together to page 28, and we'll rise in body and spirit as we call each other to prayer. Ay, la, 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 oh. Just put it down. Ay, la, 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 lo. Seated, we turn to page 30 and take a moment to bless on light and dark and the wonder of creation. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Hashem yikra b'arivim. Umavir yom umevir laila umavdil ben yom uven laila Adonai tzevaot shemo El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai hamari v'aravim. We turn to page 32 and bless love, everlasting love. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu v'hem negei yomam v'layla ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. Please rise, as is your custom. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai be seated. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Page 40. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדע בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יללי, אללי, ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך את אדוני גאל ישראל. It feels really good to have the 6th grade here. I just want you to know that. I know that some of you come not infrequently, but just to feel, and also to say it feels really good to have everyone here. But like, it just feels really good to have you, 6th graders. And I want to share something. I remember, so I grew up in a chavura. I grew up in a community in Portland, Oregon that felt a lot like Shir Tikva. It was like very much sort of member-driven, very proud, like proud of itself, but in a good way. And I remember growing up in that community, watching the grown-ups around me, the ones I knew and the ones I didn't know, just trying to get a sense of like, is it okay? Is what we're doing okay? Do we feel good here? And I would track I would understand what my community meant by who was in the room and how it was they were singing together and how it was they greeted each other, what it was they believed in. But I also got to know my community because of how they paid attention to me, how they noticed I was there, how they noticed I was singing along, right? How they noticed the choices I was making and how I was showing up. And I want to reflect back to you, 6th graders, and everyone, obviously, but like, oh my gosh, how important it is you're here and that we notice you're here. I notice you're here too. And we're in a time right now as our community and as Jews where we really have to pay attention to each other and claim what our community means. Goodbye, I love you.
Direct action.
That was intense direct action. We notice you're here, Lely. But in this time of choosing how we show up as a community, I just also want us to notice and pay attention to our young people and how they're showing up and how you're teaching us, okay? By the clarity of your vision and what you believe in and what you know to be true, we're paying attention to you and we're excited to get to learn with you. But I wanted to ground us here as we pray for peace, okay? Because these prayers for peace and for protection are not theoretical. And we are so lucky that our prayer as a minyan and as our mighty multimodal minyan gets to weave together and all of our fierce visions for a world with no war gets to weave together and rise. We'll sing 3 lines down from the bottom. Oh, that's great. I meant our prayers would rise, but we could rise too. You actually don't have to. That's amazing. Wow. Bless you all. Maybe we're supposed to. Let's rise like our prayers, huh? Wow, that was amazing. I know, completely. Oy. Ufros aleinu sukat Shelomecha ufros aleinu sukat sukat Shelomecha ufros aleinu sukat sukat Shelomecha ufros aleinu sukat sukat Shelomecha. We turn to page 44, and I know you're going to laugh, and we do rise this time. En route. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uben bnei Yisrael oti leolam Veshamru bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. Veshamru bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ubayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash Veshamru bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. We turn to page 46 and we open together to our time for personal prayer. So we'll begin together on page 46 and take a few moments in quiet to use the words of our Siddur and the words of our heart. And we'll come back together on page 62 in song. Adonai Sfatai Tifta Ufi Ali Tehilatecha Adonai Sfatai Tifta Ufi Ali Tehilatecha עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל. We'll turn to page 253 and offer a blessing for healing. It's found at the middle of the page. So we'll sing, and then I'll invite you to share names of people you're praying for. And then we'll sing again. Mi sheberach avotenu mekor haberacha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
Susan Mallison, David Long.
Jack, please serve the great German.
Mi sheberach imotenu mekor haberacha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. So knowing that I was leading the service by myself, and with all of you, obviously, I decided I was going to ask all of you to give the Devar Torah. Actually, because what we have, you'll find on the other side of your white sheets is a series of texts. And so we are going to craft together some meaning tonight from Parshat Tetzaveh. And so, friends on Zoom, you have in the transcript also the same texts. And so as we learn together, I'm going to invite you please to share your insights in the chat, and I will make sure that your insights make it into the room. And we'll have a little conversation together. Right? Wouldn't that be nice? So today was Little Purim. What is Little Purim? We're in a leap year in the Jewish calendar, which happens 7 times every 19 years. Hello, prime numbers. And that means we get 2 times the month of Adar, so Adar 1 and Adar 2. Usually we just have one Adar, and in the middle of the month of Adar comes the holiday of Purim. So just imagine, folks, along with everything else that's happening this year, we could have been celebrating Purim today. Instead, we get a whole other month, and I cannot wait, Barbara, for Purim. I cannot wait. But aren't you glad you have another month of rehearsals? So today is Little Purim, Purim Katan. And so I want to dedicate our learning today to this idea that Purim Katan is a little feast. We're supposed to have a mishteh on Purim. Purim Katan offers us the chance to give our souls a little feast, the chance to just take a breath together. I needed that breath. And learn a little bit together in the midst of this time. And so I wanted to offer a series of texts, and a big gratitude to my chavruta and friend, Rabbi Leora Abelson, who was here in October, with whom we sort of worked out this text sheet together, about what we can learn from this week's Parsha and the way that it invites us to bring offerings, okay? And so we're doing a little bit of a compare and contrast between last week's Parsha and this week's Parsha. And so the way we're going to do it is this. We're going to study the texts out loud together, and then I'm going to invite us to turn for to do this equal with the Zoom. We're just going to have to do spontaneous thinking, and I know that that benefits some of us over others. Okay? I know that some of us like to be spontaneous, out loud thinkers more than others. So we'll have a moment just to think to ourselves. We'll be our own chavruta, our own study buddy, and then I'll invite people to raise their hands. And I'm wondering if I have a 6th grade volunteer to be the mic runner, the person who gets to go with the microphone and go to people who are raising their hands. Oh my gosh, so many 6th grade volunteers. I saw David's hand first. I was facing this way. But I just want to say thank you. This speaks very highly of your class, that you're all volunteering to be the mic runner. And maybe David, halfway through, will switch. Okay? So the first question is this. The title of the question, or sort of like the big level question, is it better is a hard word, but what do we make of acts of service that we give freely versus acts of service that we're required to do? Okay, that's the big title. Because last week, we heard the first verses of Parshat Truma were Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, speak. God said to Moses, say this, Daber al b'nei Yisrael v'yikhu li truma me'et kol ish asher yidvenu libo tikhu et trumati. Tell the Israelite people, so Moses, go tell the Israelite people to bring me gifts. And we're supposed to accept gifts from any person whose heart tells them to offer it. Isn't that beautiful? Anyone whose heart tells them, who's so moved, should bring what they want to bring. This week's Parsha says, Ve'ata tetzaveh et bnei Yisrael v'yikhu alecha shemen zayit zach katit lamaor lahalot ner tamid. Now you command the children of Israel to bring clear oil of beaten olives for lighting, to light this lamp regularly. Okay? So last week, the people are told, please bring what your heart tells you to bring. This week, Torah says, you're supposed to. And so the question that I wanted to ask to begin this conversation together is, what's the difference between a spiritual practice or an act of service that's given from the heart, like last week, and a practice or offering that is commanded? Now, before we begin our conversation together, what I want to offer is this. It's not a binary, right? I'm hoping we're not going to be one's good and one is bad, because they're both in Torah, right? The children are actually asked to do both. So I know our instinct is to be one is really helpful and the other one's. But instead, let's say, how do we hold these together? What are we supposed to make of this and that? And what happens to us when we hold both together? Okay, so let's take a moment. And I think first round is going to be for questions. Who has a question of like, what does this mean? Or what are we supposed to do with this? And then we'll get to comments. David, you'll do the question round. Go ahead. Raise your hand if you have something to say and don't be shy.
What if you're not able to bring olives to make oil? Can someone else bring it for you?
Amazing. Yes, people can. And the only, like what Torah says and what the commentators, what Ibn Ezra then sort of lifts out of this commandment, it's a really great question. Hi, I see you. Is it's the obligation of the people to continuously bring this olive oil, the olives for this oil, because the light needs to be going constantly. And we have a solar-powered light. But the vision of this was that actually the people were going to be constantly bringing this olive oil so that the light could be going all the time. So, but I love that question. It's incumbent on the whole community, and it's up to the community to figure out how to make that happen. Great question. Yeah.
So, like, if it's like an act of like a gift, like, aren't they going to be like, the next person will do it? Like, everybody's going to do that. So, like, what's really the point? Like, you got to like tell them to do like, you have to bring one gift, but then.
This is an amazing question. Yeah.
Like, why did God change from like, do whatever you want, like bring me whatever you want, and then no, now you have to bring this certain thing?
These are the greatest questions. Yeah.
I think there's a question about what happens with the gifts after you give them. And in the second verse, it says, it seems like it's for the ritual lighting of the lights in the Mishkan and the tabernacle. The first one, it doesn't say what's happening. I'm wondering if there's a difference in what happens to the gifts that leads to the difference between how they're commanded or how they're asked to be given.
I love that. Let's gather a few more questions and then we can play. Yeah, I see you over here.
How big is the light?
Such a good question. Unanswerable, unfortunately. Yes, Charlie.
Would everyone have to contribute the same amount of oil?
Such a good question, right? Like when you say it's a gift of your heart, it's like everyone gets to make their own quantities. But is there?
It would probably need a certain amount it would need this much every day. So it would have to eventually add up to enough.
I love this question, right? The Torah seems to say like there's no scarcity here, right? Like if people bring, it's going to be enough. But Charlie, your question's so good. Yeah.
What's the impact on the giver?
Oh, that's an amazing. What is the impact on the giver, whether it's voluntary or whether it's commanded?
Yeah, not necessarily one or the other, just curious.
Yeah, what?
And not what do you get out of it. It's not like what do you get out of it, but maybe what do you feel.
Amazing. All right. These are such... Yeah, David, go ahead. You have the microphone.
What happens if they don't bring enough oil?
Okay, great. So this concern of like, will the people get it right? I feel like that's what's inside of like Charlie and David's questions is like, okay, so they're told to bring it and they're told they're supposed to, but are the people going to get it right? I'm going to look in our Zoom for a moment and then we're going to start answering these questions. Haha. The good news is, which I know so many of us know, and then Reese, I see you, yay, is that there's no right answer. We're in the process now of doing parshanut. We're doing interpretation together. And the questions that you're raising, both around impact and around the practicalities of this, are so crucial. I'm going to go to Reese, then I'm going to look into Zoom.
How do you know how much oil to bring?
How much oil to bring? Such a good question. I love this. I feel like our community is like getting ready to bring oil. That's what it feels like. We're like, okay, what are we gonna do? Okay, so I'm looking. Wow, it's already a big conversation in Zoom. Okay, so Jim Norden says the command one is you fake it till you make it. The spirit will follow the act. Lakin says, I like it when someone tells me specifically what they need. So that's the command. I can give that. It's not any less from the heart if asked directly and given. Sarah says, I hope it's okay that I'm identifying you. I'm one of those contrarian rebels. When I'm supposed to do something is when I least want to do it. So whenever I do something that I'm supposed to, that's major. Alchemy says they both have pros and cons. Freely given runs the risk of not being done or not being enough, but it makes people feel less resentful. Command runs the risk of creating resentment, but it assures that it is done. Freely given is individual, and commanded is cementing that they're a community. Oh, how's that? Let's hold that for a moment. Thank you. So that this idea that the freely given plants it inside of each of our hearts, literally, that's what the Hebrew says. Yidvenu libo, but this idea of command, suddenly, all of the questions that have been asked about quantity, could one person bring enough oil to keep the light going constantly? That sounds totally like an anxiety dream, right? We have to keep this light going constantly and it's all on you. Like, oh God. But as a community, this idea that we could do it, I'm so grateful for that insight. I'm wondering if anyone wants to play off of these ideas that have just gotten shared from Zoom. Yeah, take it away, David.
Another question. I feel like they should tell them how much to bring. Like, because what if everybody just brings a tiny bit and then that ends up not being enough, going back to what if there's not enough?
So I guess I'm curious, because I hear a lot of concern, especially from our sixth graders, which I think is interesting, about like, will they get the quantity right? So let's stay with that concern for a second. What are we going to do with this? Before we take on other questions, how do we want to drash? How do we want to make meaning from the fact that the text does not actually tell us how much oil to bring, but simply, we've got to keep this light going. I'm looking to see if there's someone who hasn't spoken. Yeah, go ahead. Here, so actually, David, if you see, there's 2 people who haven't spoken yet.
You're doing this in a community, and so some people will be able to give you more than others. And if you demand a certain quantity, that's going to put more strain on some people than others. And so I think it's left open with the understanding that if we all do it, we'll keep it going. If we all bring what we can, we'll keep it going.
Beautiful, thank you.
Also, I think about how it's a process, and so maybe we don't have just one chance to get it right. Like if people bring what they can and it's not enough, then people can get feedback, or God or whoever can ask for more. And that it's kind of an evolving process of community rather than sort of a test to see if we're going to get it right.
I think it's also kind of a question of like how much are we willing to empathize with our neighbors who might not have as much as we do. Like the act of bringing the oil itself isn't the issue. It's like making sure, like if I have more and I know someone doesn't have as much or the means to do it, am I willing to show up in community to offer that? Or am I just willing to do the bare minimum to feel like I've satisfied that need that is needing to be met?
I think it's not just about the amount or the if you volunteer or whatever, but I think that there is a real need to keep a society running, to have things that are financed that no person on their own is going to decide to do. So if I'm going to give money out of my heart, I'm going to give it to a food shelf, I'm going to give it to an environmental group, and that's going to make me feel like I've done something good, and I'm going to do something good. I'm not going to give money to fixing the roads. I'm not going to give money maybe to building battery charging stations for electric cars. There's a huge amount of things that society has to do that aren't going to be something that individuals can give a check to the meat checkers, the inspectors or whatever. You're not going to do it. So that you need taxation. It's a relevant modern American problem. You need taxation, progressive taxation, that you're going to raise money to do all the things that have to be done in a society that aren't going to happen just by individuals being able to or knowing what to give to in order to make it happen.
That's beautiful. Thank you. So from Zoom, we have Tamar says, well, if we're worried about amounts, people can organize to figure out what to bring. And Dylan says, I think not naming the amount is being accessible, trusting that the community will provide. Yeah, Julie. Here, so we'll take like 2 more people. This is amazing.
I'm thinking about, well, first of all, giving from the heart is such a gift to oneself. And then I'm also thinking about, in terms of the oil, like there's an idea, like when you're in a choir, that you can hold a note if everybody gets a chance to take a breath. And that's kind of the image that I have in terms of giving the oil.
Beautiful.
I always come up with research, but looking at philanthropy and who gives and who volunteers nationally or universally, people with the least tend to give a higher percentage of what they have. The more comfortable that people have, or the more wealth they may have, it may feel like a drop in the bucket to them. So when you have more on the line and depend more on the community, you tend to give more.
You know, I think it's interesting that we, not knowing how much and everyone having different amounts to bring, means that the community has to talk to each other.
Yes. Nice. So I see Charlie I think, Charlie, you're going to get the last word from the congregation. Are you ready? Okay.
Just thinking from a mathematical point of view, since I had math 6th period, everybody should give maybe not a specific amount, but like what was said, like specific percentage, so that people who don't have as much, like if you had to give 1 pound of oil, if some people only had 1.5 pounds of oil, they wouldn't have enough for themselves. So if you give like 10% or 5% of what you have every time, then the people who have a lot more will be able to help, and the people who have less will still be able to say, oh, I gave, and I gave a lot. I gave a lot of what I have.
Thank you. So hello, wise ones. Thank you so much for this conversation. I just want to offer that as we think about David, and thank you so much, David, for that beautiful mic running. Yesher koach. One of the through lines that I'm hearing in this conversation is the way in which shared responsibility creates, it creates relationship, creates a way for the community, a requirement that the community actually work together to solve a problem. And now I'm glad we have math minds like Charlie, who is ready to tell us exactly how much yes math 6th period. But this sense of actually, where you might guess that being obligated to do sort of takes away the creative thinking and the sense of being implicated. You just do what you're required to do. Instead, this requirement to do something continuously, right, to keep something going, creates a requirement that people work together and pay attention not just to is the light going, but are our neighbors okay? Are our neighbors able to be part of this? And how do we do this together? And I think in this moment, the piece that feels so essential is the paying attention, right? The not saying, well, my heart doesn't feel like it, right? But to say, oh, actually, we're in this together. We're in this project together. And how do we keep paying attention and help each other in that? So I just want to say yesher koach to you. Beautiful learning. What fun to get to hear your voices. We should do more of that. And we're going to begin to conclude our service. So we'll turn together to page 284. And I think we'll rise and root. Ki Adonai hu Elohim v'hashevotav el levavecha ki havaya hi Elohim v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. You may be seated, and as I was standing, I'm like, I feel like we're one blessing short. And then I realized we're Zoom blessing short. So we're going to pause in this moment to receive blessings, both offer blessings to our community and also receive blessings from the Zoom community, and then we'll recite Kadisha Tom. So Zoomers, I'm sorry for that. This is great. So we're going to turn to our colorful sheets if you'd like to sing along as we bless each other. And one of the sweet customs of our community is if you're with somebody that you feel like cuddling with, I invite you to just get a little closer as we open ourselves. And then after we sing Birkat Kehillah, I invite our Zoomers please to pour your blessings into the chat. Hamalach hagoel oti, Hamalach hagoel oti mikol ra, yevarech et hanearim, v'yikarev shemi, v'shem avotai, Avraham v'Yitzchak, v'yidgul harov, b'kerev haaretz, yisimchem Elohim kesara, kerivka, kerachel ucheleya, kefraim uchimenashe, yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yisem lecha shalom. Yalalai, 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 ay, yalalai. May we be wise enough to learn from our young ones. May the younger and future generations be full of wisdom and kindness. And may all the world benefit as one community, keeping the light. May we never stop passing the mic and listening to one another. May we be blessed to not be asked to share more than we can, but an opportunity to give what it is possible. May we learn to ask, command for the things we actually need so others know what gifts to bring. May we learn how to breathe in the care that is offered and extend our own arms of care in a huge embrace. May we keep asking the questions that we don't have all the answers to. May we always be sharing and giving our gifts to each other. May we all enjoy the opportunity to perform the mitzvah of contributing to our community when we are able. May we each contribute what we can to creating the just and enduring peace we all need. May we always bring what we can, knowing our contribution is vital no matter how small. May we remember that prayer is powerful, Connection is powerful, and we have the capacity to give, receive, and rise. May we be grateful for our community and especially for our young members for their passion and conviction. May we all continue to keep pushing each other forward. Ken yehi ratzon, yalalai, yalalai, yalo. Yalalai, 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 yalalo. Ay, yalalai, yalalai, yalalai. There are two more beautiful latecomers that we're going to hear. May we fight when we can and trust our communities to have our back when we can't. May we feel the continuum of community from millennia past and continue to build towards a healed world. Ken yehi ratzon. That's right. Thank you so much. So beautiful. So now we turn to Kaddish Yatom. And this is a chance for us to tell stories of people that we are remembering in this time. So I'm going to ask, I think all of our sixth graders have left. Is there someone else who would be willing to be? They're going to be so disappointed to miss this chance to run a mic. Thank you so much. That's good too. So the practice in our community is, I'll read the names of our community aloud. Please raise your hand, and Julie will come to you with a microphone so you can share a story. And if I've gotten to the end of the list and I have not shared your loved one's name, please raise your hand, and Julie will come to you and you can share their name and a story. So we're in Shloshim for Judy Katz, mother of Jerry and grandmother of Ravi and Charlie.
My mom was a very proud grandma, and she would be very excited about Charlie's Profit Fair project. So, yeah, I'm lucky to have his other grandma here with me, though, tonight.
We are the Shloshim for Norman Dan, father of Janet, and grandfather of Asher and Sam. And the Shloshim for Rory Scott, father of Jack Nelson. We observe yahrzeit for Jacob Bernstein, Shep Harris's great-grandfather, Will Bloom, Neil's father, Barbara Brust, Lakin Schmatz's longtime friend, Ron Edgar, Matt Edgar's father, Mort Freemark, Samara's grandfather, Pamela Elliott Gernsbacher, Kim Swiler's mother, Barbara Gold, Diana Behrman's mother, Thelma Greenberg, Steve's mother, Sheldon Halpern, Rachel's father, Inez Altos Hare, Thrin's grandmother, Saul Jacobs, Julie's grandfather.
Yeah, my grandpa was, he came over here when he was 17 from Prussia, which I think was Ukraine and Poland. And he couldn't come into this country. He had to stay in Brazil for 3 years. And he went to Toledo, Ohio, because that's where his sister was. He was a very tall man, like 6'3", and he died when I was only 17.
Irving Kahn, Phyllis's father-in-law, Bert Kessler, Rich's mother, Sylvia Nazen, Hannah Nazen-Lippman's grandmother, Gerald Mendick, Stu Mendick's father, Jocelyn and Sidney Miner, Mike Miner's parents.
Yeah, my parents died on the same day, 8 years apart, at least on the English calendar. Thankfully, they're a couple of days apart on the Jewish calendar, so I can actually remember them separately. But it's probably appropriate that that they're together because they very often were, and much of when they could, my parents tended to do things together. I'm running out of stories, but the one about my mom was a very brave woman. She had a hip injury when she was 12, and they never said it right. And so most of my life she had problems with her hip, which they fused in the 60s. And then about the mid-70s, they just, when the artificial hip replacements, she came out here to the Mayo Clinic to have them put a new hip into the hip that had been fused. And when she came out of surgery, the first thing she asked the surgeon was, well, can I ski now?
Evelyn Minkoff, Miriam Weinstein's aunt. Anna Niemer, Charles's grandmother. Isaac Nemiroff, Rabbi Kathy Nemiroff's father. Miriam Newmark, Diane Newmark Stainer's mother. And Leora Stainer's grandmother. Aaron Saul Charles Newberg, Elaine Frankowski's father. Guido Nicosia, Emma's grandfather. Jean Nudell, Jeremy Kalin's grandmother. Philip Paczynski, Zachary Scott's father. Sylvester Price, Andrea Kircher's stepfather. Andrew Redman, Jessica Wicks's dear friend. Sidney Resnick, Michael's father. Maxine Robbins, Susan Mundall's mom. Phyllis Scalsolena, Catherine Tain's mother. Jenny Vogel, Rabbi Barbara Bloch's great-grandmother. Connie Weinberg, Chance Reinick's grandmother. Beth Wiener, Miriam Hanan Kelberg's aunt. And Maury Zuckman, Harvey's father. And I wonder, are there other people in the community we're remembering at this time?
My mom died on this day in 2009, Robin Wood. I don't have anything else to say right now.
Hi, I'm Kayla's grandfather, and my grandfather was born on Purim. That's about all we knew about the date for a long time. And he left Poland after World War I, fortunately, because the family that stayed behind was mostly killed. But he never retained any bitterness in his life, despite the some very bad things that he experienced. He was very easygoing about things. Oh, by the way, in contrast to the previous speaker, he died when I was 53. Do the math. That's a lot. A story I was thinking of today, typical of him. So he was in a nursing home like 98 or something, and they said, Felix. His name in Yiddish was Favish, and then in France they called him Fabian in English. In the US they call him Felix, of course, and too poetic. Anyway, they said, Felix, you're 98, you need to have a walker. So he didn't argue, so he took the walker and he carried it around with him.
So it's become our custom to pause before reciting Kaddish, to sing, and to hold the enormity of death in Gaza, in the south of Israel, and the violence that is continuing in Gaza, and to grieve. And in this service where we have just been so lucky to have the wisdom and the energy and the brilliance of our young people, just really holding the enormity of death and loss and impact in this time. And as we sing Oseh Shalom, which is a prayer for peace, may we also just let these words be inscribed in our heart that we may act for peace as we remember. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru, imru, amen. Let's rise in body and spirit on page 294 for Kaddish Tom. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועלמא יברח ירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון יום אחד ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ויברו אמן. יהי שמי רבה וברך לעולם ולאמרי המיה, יתברך וישלח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קדושה ובריחו, לעילם כל ברכתה ושירתה, תוש ברכתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמא ויברו אמן. יהי שלום הרבה מן שמיים, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויברו אמן. עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ויברו amen. You may be seated, and I'll invite Ben Goldfarb to come join me here to offer some announcements. Thanks so much, Ben. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. Shabbat Shalom. It's really good to see everybody here tonight. I'm Ben Goldfarb. I currently serve as the president of the Shir Tikva Board of Trustees, and I'm really, really happy to be with here tonight. And to folks on Zoom as well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Just want to share a couple quick things. One, at the end of the service, we would really appreciate if you could return your books and take the song sheets and separate them on the table. It would be very appreciated. We'd also appreciate if folks are able to, after the service, if you could take chairs and move them, I think, out into that space right there, stacked no more than 5 high, because this weekend we're getting the carpets cleaned, which is part of the, we haven't branded it yet, but is it the Shir Tikva Not Yet Spring? Oh, Sparkles! I was going Spring Spruce Up or something, but Sparkles, you may have noticed a fresh coat of paint on the ceiling, a sparkling fresh office, and now some clean carpets. So thanks for helping make that happen, and many hands make light work, so thank you. I want to thank everybody who made tonight's service possible, Rabbi Ariel, Gordon, our new staff member Eric, who some of you may have met in the red shirt out there with the beard, who is supporting us with facilities, which is a very welcome addition to our team. So welcome, and say hi to him when you go out, please. Also the Macomb Minion, my co-usher, Fro Jacob, who is more multi-talented than me, so he got deputized to go be a shomer tonight as well. And then Julie Jacobs and Laurie Sweet, thanks to everybody for making it possible. A couple of programming announcements. You can find everything on the website and in the e-news, but specifically wanted to lift up this Sunday night at 6 is the next program that we're having on Israel and Palestine. This time it's going to be the rescheduled panel about B'Tselem Elohim. So there's going to be 3 Shir Tikva congregants who are going to share how the value of understanding all humans as created in the likeness of God impacts their political commitments around Israel and Palestine. So that's here Sunday at 6. Also want you to know Board of Trustees nominations are open, so we are welcoming applicants. You can apply through the website through March 4th. There are also links in the e-news, so we would welcome. There are definitely spots open on the board. If you'd like to serve, if you have questions about it, you can come talk to me or a couple other folks who are here, and we would welcome folks to apply. We also want you to know next week's Shabbat service will be mask recommended. If that doesn't work for you, you can also join the great crew on Zoom. And then Purim, there's been some Purim talk tonight, is coming. You can order your Hamantashen online, so please go ahead and do that. And a note from our caring community, if you're able to occasionally provide a ride on Friday nights to services to someone in your area, please contact Rondi Akin, who's actually here right now too, right up there. You can just talk to Rondi or talk to a rabbi. So thank you. And also a reminder that your community is here to support you. So if you do have a change or a life event, or there's a way in which you could benefit from some care, please do reach out so that we can make that happen. And then last, I just want to say, I know there was a lot of worry about a lack or a scarcity of oil earlier. One thing we can guarantee that there will be an abundance of at Shir Tikva night, like 1,000%, is prophet talk in the Onik Hall. So the 6th graders are all out there. They'll be delighted to be the young teachers in our community to talk about prophets. Please stop by and hang out with them on your way out for a few minutes. And then last, I just want to say, I know that folks here and online and around know how lucky we are to have both the clergy and professional staff that we do that hold our community in so many ways. They always do that in like a lot, and especially these last several months, it has been really, really a lot. So our rabbis, our clergy, and our staff team, when you see them, if you're able to reach out, extend care, love, gratitude, grace, a hug, whatever, it's appreciated because they're holding a lot with and for us right now. So thank you. And yeah, that's it. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much.
Can I just say one thing? That I want to just say that 3,000 Hamantaschen have been baked. So please order.
Is Barry Epstein in the building? Yay, Barry, do you want to come down and say a few words about the Prophet Fair? Ben did a great teaser. Great. So Barry and Jesse are the two teachers of our 6th grade program. We are so lucky to have you here, and we'd just love to have you give a little
Shabbat Shalom. This is the 9th year that the 6th grade class has hosted Shir Tikva's Prophet Fair. It covers from Moses' death through the building of the Second Temple. The primary focus is on the prophets and kings that inhabited the land throughout the period. Each bar mitzvah is given a Haftarah segment to study that connects to their Torah portion. There are 2 reasons why the fair came into being. First, our bar mitzvah students they were expected to chant their Haftarah, and they knew nothing about it. They didn't know about their prophets, they didn't know anything about it. And, the clergy at that time, the challenge was, why are we making our kids do this if they know nothing about it? Why are we doing this? So the second reason is, this is a class, it's a weird year. They're 6th grade, and they're used to people at Shir Tikva taking care of them, doing stuff for them. And 7th grade, when they go through their bar mitzvah, they're expected to give back. And so this is a kind of a good trial run for them, to get out there and to teach all of you about prophets that you probably never even heard of, one being Obadiah. Who ever heard of Obadiah except Rabbi A? Huh? So last year, my co-teacher, Jesse Goldfarb, and we were challenged by Forrest Yesness, and our supervisor. And his comment was, we've been doing this for a long time. We had the prophet on the stick. Probably a lot of you remember, your kids went through this. But his comment was, fine, you're doing this, but it's kind of superficial, and our kids can do more. And I was concerned. I didn't know if they could do more, but we decided to take it on, and they have just amazed me.
Yeah, so Forrest was definitely right that the kids have risen to the challenge. They have done a really good job, and their ideas have been really creative. So some have been engaging in policy discussions with King Solomon. One is doing a piano piece. He made up the whole composition himself. And someone else is whittling idols to show idol making and how that was involved in Isaiah. Sorry, Rabbi. So please stick around. We invite you to engage with the students. You'll be very pleasantly surprised, and hopefully not too surprised, but how great their work is. They are really, they've really done a really good job. We're really proud of them, and we hope that you learn something from them.
So, just I feel like there is nothing for more Shir Tikva. The most iconic Shir Tikva moment is whittling an icon in a shul on Shabbos. You could not. So just kol hakavod to the teachers. It's mini forum, and here it is. Everything's a little topsy-turvy. I am wondering, is there anyone here who's here for the very first time? Please. If you're here for the very first time, I know this is a big ask, but if you'd feel comfortable to come join me on the bima as we bless, I will sing the blessings, but as we bless grape juice and challah, that's a huge ask. So I'm also going to ask brave people who are not here for the first time to join me also, so you'll blend in. But I think I would just love to be able to meet you and welcome you, and this is the best way I have to do it. So come on up. Come on. So, yeah, and also anyone else. Reese, come on. Come help me bless. Thank you. Our grape juice blessing is found on page 5. Yay! Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzav banu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'vratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta im kol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha'shabbat. Do you want to drink some grape juice? Well done. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon. Shabbat Shalom. So we'll sing a closing song in here, but I want to invite anyone who's feeling eager to go jump into the Prophet Fair to make your way out into the Oneg Hall at this time. Shabbat Shalom. If anyone wants to eat some challah, you're welcome to. Great, get on it. Good Shabbos.
Anna, you want some challah?
So I'm hoping we can sing, for anyone who wants to stay and sing for one more song. We'll go back to our white sheets and sing Yonati Ziv Yifatech one more time. Yonati Ziv Yifatech Damalich Sil Vechimot, Yonati Ziv Yifatech Damalich Sil Vechimot, ואני לאהבתך אשיר שיר על העלמות, ואני לאהבתך אשיר שיר על העלמות, נבע מכל העלמות, נבע מכל העלמות. נדדו לי תשוקתך מעפעפי תנומות, דו לי תשוקתך מעפעפי תנומות, נבע מכל העלמות, נבע מכל העלמות, נבע מכל העלמות, נבע מכל העלמות. שפתותייך שושנים נוטפות מורבה, שפתותייך שושנים נוטפות מורבה, עינייך כמו יונים בוערות אש להבה, עינייך כמו יונים בוערות אש להבה, מתברך לי ערבה, מתברך לי ערבה, מתברך לי ערבה, מתברך לי ערבה, משיר שרים ונוגנים הוגים עוז לתעצומות, משיר שרים ונוגנים הוגים עוז בתעצומות, נבע מכל העלמות, נבע מכל העלמות, נבע מכל העלמות, נבע מכל העלמות. This is the cutest thing I've ever seen. Yay! That was incredible. I was like, whoa! Shabbat Shalom! So sweet. Literally nothing cuter than this group of people trying to sing together while chairs move. It's like, we can do it! I know! Oh, that was so special. I hope you're feeling better. I'm glad you let me know. And also, it's good for me sometimes to leave by myself. It's like